This is for the division, for the Chiefs. And right off the upright and in for the division. It's the dike for the division for the Chiefs. Oh my goodness.
Ladies and gents, football fans alike, Kenny C back in here to break down yet another week of football as I've been doing all season long, which is why you will want to subscribe to the channel. We don't just talk football on this channel, we talk baseball, hockey, basketball, but if you're a football fan, you definitely want to subscribe. Week 14 is donezo. We head into week 15 with only 4 games left on the docket for every team. We're going to assess the 1 seed in the AFC. We're going to get into some Jets talk with what's next. And we're going to pick the team that's in the hunt right now, which one has the best chance to make the playoffs. I'm going to give you guys that as well. But let's start with this 1 seed in the AFC. You got 3 top juggernauts right now occupying the 1 through 3 seeds. You got the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Steelers. The Bills at 10-3, Steel City at 10-3, the Chiefs at 12-1 with a huge win over the Chargers. They clinched the AFC West. Shocker. But if you look at the remaining schedule, I'll focus in on the Bills and the Chiefs here because the Steelers have the hardest remaining schedule of the 3 and one of the hardest in the league with Philly, Baltimore, Kansas City, and Cincinnati. I think the best they can do remaining, I think they'll go 2-2. They'll go 12-5 on the year. I do think that they beat Kansas City. I've been saying that for a few weeks now. But if you look at Kansas City and you look at Buffalo, if the Chiefs go 2-2 over their next 4, which is possible, they play the Browns, Houston, Pittsburgh, and Denver. Denver was a blocked field goal away from beating the Chiefs. Now, I know the Chiefs are a different entity as we get further and further into December football. They heat up. They show that championship pedigree. But I could see a world in which Denver can beat the Chiefs. So if Denver and Pittsburgh beat the Chiefs, they take care of the Browns and they take care of the Texans. Or even the Texans could beat the Chiefs and they could beat Denver. Bottom line is, I think the Chiefs can go 2-2, which would put them at 14-3 on the year. And the Bills, they have a high possibility of winning out. I know they got Detroit this Sunday. That's going to be the game of the week, maybe the game of the year. They're coming off a really tough loss to the Rams in a shootout, 44-42. I understand you look at the Packers, you can't allow the Lions to do what they've done all year, which is average 31.9 points per game. You can't allow them to put up 30+ on your defense and expect to win the game. But this is Josh Allen we're talking about. This guy is built different this year. The first and only quarterback in NFL history, he did it against the Rams, to have 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns. The Bills are more than capable to go head-to-head with any team in the league and win a game. So if they beat Detroit, the rest of the schedule, in theory, is a cakewalk. You got New England twice and the Jets. So if both of these teams finish on the year 14-3, I see a world in which the Bills do that and lock up the 1 seed because they beat Kansas City. So they have the head-to-head tiebreaker. And I think that then the playoffs would run through the Bills. And I picked the Bills to get to the Super Bowl. I know that the Chiefs last year, 11-6 is what they finished. They faced the gauntlet in the postseason from the Dolphins to the Ravens to the Bills to then beating the Niners eventually in the Super Bowl. You can never count them out. But I'm just saying, I see a world in which the Bills can lock up the 1 seed. What say you? My gangrene fans, what is next for the New York Jets? Who would you like to see the Jets go out and get in terms of a head coach and a GM? You see the jersey to my right. Does this man return as the quarterback, now 41 years old? The Jets officially out of playoff contention with that loss on Sunday to the Dolphins in overtime. 14 years in the making with no playoff appearances. That is the longest active drought in all of sports. Here is what A-Raj had to say about it.
What's the question?
Well, can you reflect on that and just why?
I mean, I've been here, I've started 1 year, so
right.
I'm a part of it for 1 year. It's disappointing.
So you heard the man. I've only been here for a year realistically. In terms of playing time, hurt the whole season last year with the Achilles, as we all know. That is extremely hard to come back from. We saw him battle the ankle and knee injuries this year. The Jets as a cohesive unit, no cohesion at all. Olbricht's got to go, Hackett's got to go, Todd Downing's got to go. We all know this. We saw Woody Johnson hire Rick Spielman and Mike Tannenbaum as a part of the 33rd team to look for that new GM and that new head coach. And then with that GM, they're going to have to look for possibly the quarterback of the future. Does Raj return? I think they should run it back with Raj. I don't think that they will, because if you're bringing in a new GM and a new head coach, you have to expect that they're going to look for their guy. Maybe Raj joins another team, completes the Favre trifecta. If the Vikings don't re-sign Darnold, which I think they should, they're out of their minds to not offer him some sort of deal with the way he's played this year. Maybe it's the Favre trifecta of Green Bay, the Jets, and the Vikings. Who knows? Raj could be back, though. I think maybe if you have a rookie quarterback, you let him learn under Raj for another year. What say you guys? GMs, Ray Agnew comes to mind. Assistant GM with the Lions. He's helped Brad Holmes assemble the current team that they have now. He was a player. He was a D tackle. Won a Super Bowl with the Rams in 1999. Mike Borgonzi, however you pronounce that, assistant GM for the Kansas City Chiefs. 8 division titles, 2 Super Bowls. He spent 7 years with them, going on, I believe, his 8th year with the Chiefs in that role. He could be a possible option. What do you guys think? For head coach, what are we looking at here? Are we looking at Mike Vrabel? I think he could be a great option for them. Maybe we even look around the league at Bobby Slowick or Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson would probably be the best if you're going offensive-minded. Or maybe even go with Flores. I mean, Brian Flores has done outstanding things for the Dolphins defense this year. If you're going defensive-minded, you look around the league and you look at the Sean McDermotts, you look at the Dan Quinns, at the Mike McDonalds, and what they have done thus far with their respective teams. They've been pretty good. So if you're looking defense-minded, maybe you look at those guys. What do you guys think? Maybe Joe Brady, the OC for the Bills. There are a lot of options for this Jets team. I don't know if they lured John Gruden. I know John Gruden wants to coach again. Do they go with John Gruden and have to deal with all of that? I'm not so sure. With the 7th overall pick, what do they do with the pick? If it stands as of today, what would you do with the pick? I've seen a lot of mocks go with Abdul Carter, the pass rusher from Penn State. Mason Graham, the defensive, I think he's either a D tackle or a DN on bottom line D lineman. Really good at rushing the passer. Mason Graham on Michigan. And then I've seen mocks go with Drew Aller with the 7th pick, maybe Aller, or you get him in the 2nd round. The Jets have a lot of needs. You can go safety, cornerback, D-line, O-line, quarterback. I mean, there's a lot of options here. If Jalen Milroe falls to 7, I think that's a no-brainer. What do you Jets fans think? Because I want to hear from you guys. Break it all down with me. Comment in the comment section below. And to wrap this one up, which team do you think currently sitting in the hunt has the best chance to make the playoffs? I'm going to look AFC here because out of the NFC teams that occupy the wild card, between the Packers, the Vikings, and the Commanders, I don't think any 3 of those teams are slowing up. Even with the Commanders at 8-5, they got the Falcons, the Saints, the Cowboys, and the Eagles for the rest of the way. I think they go 3-1. I think the Rams will win that NFC West, which will knock Seattle out of it. But I don't see any of those teams between the Rams, Atlanta, or Arizona currently constituted in the hunt. I don't see them surpassing any of the 3 teams that are currently in it. In the AFC, however, if you look at Denver at 8-5, the Dolphins, the Colts, and Cincy are all in the hunt. The top 3 teams in the hunt. The Dolphins at 6-7 are the teams that the team that I'm going to look at here. Excuse me. Out of their next 4, I think they can go 3-1. They got Houston, San Fran, Cleveland, and the Jets. I think that they can beat Houston. I think that they obviously can take care of the Browns and the Jets. They probably lose to San Fran, even though San Fran's been struggling over the last few weeks. So if they go 3-1, the Broncos have the Colts, the Chargers, the Bengals, and the Chiefs. I see a world in which Denver goes 1-3. I think that they beat the Colts, but they can lose to the Chargers, the Bengals, and the Chiefs, which would put them at 1-3 the rest of the way, which would give them a total of 5 conference wins in the AFC. To the Dolphins 8, they both be 9-8. The Dolphins would have the tiebreaker. They would make the playoffs. Tua Tagovailoa, he's playing some outstanding football. 270 plus passing yards per game. Between him and Burrow, they're the only 2 quarterbacks that average that. They've won 4 out of their last 5. Mike McDaniel and Brian Flores got this team going. I think that they have the best shot out of all these in the hunt teams. What do you guys think? Subscribe, comment, and keep it locked on this channel for the weeks to come because we don't stop making content.